Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now this is What If Deku is a Dark Hero, Part 1. Now I'm going to give you a little explanation of the series. Izuku was taken out of the Hero Academia world and put into the Zelda universe, so he's not going to... I really don't have him going back to UA at all, so... The old Izuku has been rewritten. He does still have a little bit of Izuku's traits when he's young. So he's still caring to a point, but he's still cold and calculative. As we're going to skip for a few years, Izuku has been going through the Gerudo's harsh training, as he's been doing that for a couple years. So they found him. He arrived in Hyrule about when he was 5 or 6. So let's say he's like at the moment of time, he's around 8, maybe 9 years old. Let's just say he's 9 years old. He studied marksmanship with a bow and arrow. Also trained with the as he was trained hand-to-hand combat with a sword, and with his quirk able to materialize shadow swords. That will come in handy. So he's never without a weapon. And he also he was tutored in some sorcery. He only uses sorcery for sword techniques. So outside of that, he won't be, throwing fireballs or anything like that. So, magic is a bit unfair when it comes to stuff, but sorcery is, in the Zelda universe. So, we'll give him a little bit of magic. As Queen Scarlet comes through the training hall to get her to collect her son. As the Gerudo, bows, son, come with me. As Izuku walks with his mother. Well, adopted mother, basically what it came down to, but all he knows that his real mother, because his, past life, he's kind of gone. So he was pretty young. Even if there was lingering, memories, they will fade after a while. And Ganondorf made sure that there was no memories for him to, grasp on that will impair his judgment. What is it, Mother? Has my performance been lacking? No, dear. Your progress has been amazing. I'm very proud of you. But I think it's time to... I think you're ready to take the final test. As Izuku looks at Scarlet, it's part of tradition. It's part of our customs here. Our tradition. Follow me. As they get onto... As she gets on a horse, as she lifts Izuku up, as she puts her, on the same horse, as she goes out the city, as she goes into to the desert, as she stops to a certain location. She gets off the horse as she takes Izuku, as she just sits him down, because the horse is pretty tall compared to a 9-year-old. So as Izuku's like, what's going on, Mom? Why are we here, out in the middle of the desert? Simple, my boy. As she threw a sword down in the sand. When nightfall hits, your test will begin. I will not interfere in this test. I will come fetch you in the morning, if you survive. What do you mean, in the morning? The test is gonna take you all night. Not many of our people survive this test. But I have complete faith in you, son. As she gets on her horse, as she throws down a water jug or, a thing of water. Give me more information, Mom, like what's exactly going on. Simple. You're going to sit in that spot and wait until nightfall, then your test will begin. Then after you survive, until morning, I will fetch you, and you will see. Once nightfall hits, you will completely understand of the verity of the situation. As she gets up, good luck, son. As she takes off with the horse, leaving Izuku in the middle of the desert. The sun's blaring hot as Izuku has to sit and wait. A short pause because of the mixed DNA Izuku has in him during the ritual. He's a bit taller than canon 9-year-old Deku because he has a Gerudo gene in him. So his body's a lot more Gerudos are a lot more bigger. They're like, if you would phrase the Gerudos in any way, they're like the Amazon people of Hyrulean, basically. So they're taller than Hyruleans. They usually have a bigger build than them. Well, I'm not sure like if the male Gerudos are bigger, like natural. This is how they go because there's only been like I only know of one male Gerudo, and that's Ganondorf, and he's been reincarnated over again. So yeah, in different timelines. So I don't know if like I can't like give a estimate if I only have one example to go by. But in this story, let's say the Gerudo men population, when there was a male population, they're always extremely bigger built than the Hyruleans, because the Hyruleans are more of like a sleek species, pretty much your well how you would see elves in other fantasy in other fantasy series. So let's continue our story as the sun slowly sets. As Izuku, very well, let's see what's going on. As Izuku's getting ready for whatever happened, as he picks the sword up out of the sand. As soon as the daylight starts to disappear, as the shadows hit the surfaces of the sand, as a little skeleton just appears out of the sand like it was buried underneath. As Izuku looks at the little skeleton, as he's like, I'm kind of insulted. My mother thought this would be difficult. As the skeleton, slowly creeps onto him, or slowly, walks up to him, as he goes in for a lunge, as Izuku, just maneuvers to the left, as he slashes it. He's cut his skull in half, as, the thing, falls to pieces. Well, this was a completely waste of time. I think Mom's losing her touch. As Izuku turns around, as he sees a very huge amount of these, huge amounts of skeletons. I don't remember like all their names, so I'm not going to name them by their names because I'm not going about to try to learn all their visual names to monsters in this. So I'm just going to show pictures of them and refer to them if they're a skeleton or not. So that's why I'm not going to do. So that's how I'm going to do it. So as Izuku sees several of these type of skeletons popping out of the ground, just coming out of the ground. As Izuku sees, the shields, and they're holding swords and shields. as they give out a screech noise as their glowing blue, I guess they're like greenish blue eyes start to glow in the night. As Ezekiel gives a grin. That's more like it. As Ezekiel charges, the whole group of skeletons. Yeah, there's a lot of them. This area is known to summon a whole lot of these skeletons all at once during nighttime. They do appear like all across the high road in different locations, especially when there's especially areas where there's no access to sunlight. They're more prominent in those areas, but they do have hotspots all around Hyrule, so travelers know where not to go during the nighttime if they have to travel at night. It's very discouraged because it's quite dangerous at night to travel. If you're going to travel, you're going to have to travel through the daytime. Unless you have battle experience. So you might survive the night if you have, legit, battle experience. Your normal citizen would die instantly. As several of them come charging at Izuku, moving pretty fast. As they swing their blades, as Izuku does, a backflip. As he lands on his feet, as he immediately created two shadow dekus made out of shadow. As they as they create shadow blades, as they go after the skeletons, as instead of having one on a whole group of these, it's three versus a whole group of the combat skeletons. I really don't know what to call them, but it's been a while since I played a Zelda title. So, please excuse me for not knowing all their names. Let's continue. Izuku's getting overwhelmed with just numbers in general. As one of the skeletons bash Izuku with the back of the bash him with the shield as Izuku goes rolling across the sand. As that hurt Izuku quite a bit. As Izuku slowly gets up, as a swirl of dark energy is wrapping around Izuku's sword that he mother tossed on the ground for him. As he does, as fast as he can, swing his sword towards the skeletons as a humongous energy slice comes strictly towards a whole half of the skeletons, cutting them strictly in half. As the skeletons fall apart, the ones he damaged, as the rest of them look at each other, then look at Izuku, as they all rush over towards Izuku. As he did this method, he recycled this method over and over again. As finally, sun breaks down as all the skeletons caught fire, as they all crumble to the ground. Izuku's about to fall over as Scarlet catches him. You've done well, my boy. I'm very proud. Mother? Don't worry, let's rest. As she picks him up, as she gets on the horse, as she goes back and lays him into his room, shuts the door. As she lets him rest, she ordered her people not to disturb the prince. We'll go into that in dialogue. As she stepped out of the house, you two, guard this room. Do not let the prince be disturbed for the next few days. Do I make myself clear? Yes, my queen. Good. If anything happens, contact me directly. Understood, your majesty. As she goes off to the throne room. She has a lot of she has a lot of things she has to take care of. Running Grudo. 3 months has progressed as Izuku has recovered. As he, after that experience, he knew that he was still not trained well enough. So as he refines his swordplay, his swordsmanship, as one day, the Grudels are on high alert. Not that they're in danger, but someone's coming. They're having an important visitor. Scarlet sees Princess Zelda in her halls as she walks up to Scarlet with her two daughters in tow. As she has a bunch of Sheikah bodyguards to protect her from any some people too wanted to try to attack Princess Zelda, but they neutralized any threat to her on their way to the Gerudo Desert, to the Gerudo base, or their little headquarters. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you actually showed up, Your Majesty. Please. Of course I would show up, Queen Scarlet. I was serious about opening an olive branch between our two people. I was serious about this conflict between our two races. Our own, sorry, the conflict between our two people needs to stop. And we need to begin the healing process. I come here for, to have more on a personal chat with you. Though I naturally, Scarlet, that I would attempt to try to get to know you a little better. After all, I plan to have you be my ally, not my enemy, not my foe. As Scarlet, very well, Princess Zelda. I mean, Queen Zelda. I keep forgetting that you took the throne. My apologies. But I agree. Let us talk in a more comfortable scenery. Please follow me, Princess Zelda. Queen Zelda. As Zelda, walks with Scarlet as they go to, so they could talk more privately. Sorry, guys, give me a second. Oh, damn it. For some reason, it won't stop. They have to walk, past the train hall as Princess, Zelda and her daughters see Izuku training as he's practicing his dark energy sword technique as he's trying to perfect it. So as Zelda, knows that he's using magic. And that got give me a second here, I forgot her name now. And that caught Princess Hilda's sorry, it caught her attention. As Zelda's like, you teach your see your who's that, by the way, Queen Scarlet? Oh yeah, you haven't fully and you've been introduced. That is my son, Izuku. Izuku, dear. As Izuku, his weapon disappears out of thin air, as that was surprisingly. As I like to introduce you to someone, son. This is Queen Zelda and her two lovely daughters. Introduce yourself, boy. I'm Izuku. As he bows. Yeah, I don't know where he got that from. I really don't know. It's kind of a habit he picked up suddenly. It's a bit of Izuku's, bowing, being from, Japan, even though he got morphed into something else. He still has that aspect of him. He does bow. Why don't you take a break, son? Take a, it's about time you took a couple day break. Very well, Mom. Oh, before you leave, and stay away from the study. I've noticed you've been trying to snoop around that area. You know the rules, that's off limits. I know you're curious, but there's some things that might be dangerous for you to learn. Very well, Mom. I will stay away. As a princess, I'm just gonna call her Princess Zelda because it's easier that way. But she's basically a queen now. But as Queen Zelda talked to Scarlet over a cup of coffee, not like tea, a room where they made tea where she likes to talk, have more comfortable area to talk. Her own private little room she has at the Gerudo headquarters. As they have a long conversation, what they want, what she wants for her people, and what does Scarlet want for her people, and get the bare facts, what type of ruler she is, so they could so they can come up with an arrangement to guarantee peace between their two people. And of course, Izuki over there, he's not going to quite listen to his mother, but we're going to that in a little bit later. It's before Queen Zelda started her talk with Scarlet. She Scarlet had one of the Gerudos to show the two girls around. To show her around the area. Sorry, around the Gerudos area. Give them a personal tour. Because it's not the Hyruleans not used to this type of city style. It's nowhere like shitty looking. It's just the way it looks because it's the desert. That's how it's a nice Ganondorf. I'm scratching that hole. I thought it would make it look shitty, but yeah, it's not shitty. It's just the way it looks in the desert. It's just it has its own beauty to it. As Hilda, not Hilda, yeah, it's Hilda. As Hilda and her sister Hylia take a tour, and Hilda kind of, snuck off as she, caught a glimpse of Izuku, going into a room. As she's curious what that Gerudo boy is going to do. What is he up to? As she sees him, as she's like, give me a second here. As he's like, what is that Gerudo boy doing? By the looks of it, he's up to no good. I guess I might, let's see what he's up to. As she goes, it's just to spy on Izuku. As Izuku's going through the office, the study, looking at everything, as he found a couple things out, a point of interest, but he locked that back in his back of his mind. As he's standing there, as he, felt like, a cold breeze from the floor. As he lifts up the carpet, as there's some sort of puzzle on there. As it didn't take Izuku long to figure out this puzzle, as it forms the Triforce, the Black Triforce, as the floor slowly opens up to an area where it looks nothing but stairs. It's dark. As Izuku's like, huh, that's suspicious. Mother never mentioned the study had a underground apartment. I guess it would be wrong of me not to go down there. What Mom doesn't know won't hurt her. As Izuku goes down, as soon as he passes one torch, they all light up. As Hilda, follows Izuku down the stairs, she's curious what he's up to. This is turning out to be more exciting for her than normal. She thought Izuku was just going to, grab a spell book or something, something that has, dangerous knowledge. But this has been a more of starting of a venture that what she believes. She's very adventurous and a free spirit. That's why her and her sister don't get along. She loves her sister, but she doesn't get along with her. She finds her too preppy, and yeah, she's not into being the perfect princess. Nah, she's always been fascinated by magic, and her mother was forced to get her a teacher to teach her ways of sorcery. As Ezekiel walks down the stairway, as he finally gets to the end of it, the stairs were going down for a very long time. As he gets to the end of the stairway, as he goes through the archway of it, there's no door. It says, a clear pathway. As he enters a bigger room, as all he sees is artwork, like kind of like painted or in like a type of tile artwork all around the walls, as it shows images of demise and a couple images of the dark triforce, as there's several different doors on each side, several on all sides of the room, except for the way he come in, the way he came in, as he sees a big door, a big metal door, straight ahead for himself, as it has three hollow, like three triangle shapes that it seemed like you need to place something in there. And all the doors around that room is locked except for one. As Ezekiel examined the big door, as he has no way to get it in there, it's like, whatever these pieces are, I'm going to have to find. This door is something. It doesn't make sense to have a big door like this and not have a way to open it. Judging by the triangle markers, that's probably my guess. As he hears, something fall behind him, as he turns around and creates his blade, as he sees, Princess Helia. And she's like, hi. As she waves. I mean, Hilda. As she waves back at Izuku. And she's like, this place is amazing. It's quite beautiful. This is far more interesting in having some, crappy tour. No offense. How did you get here, princess? Hilda, was it? Yep, that's my name. I came to see what you're up to. You seem to be up you seem to be up to no good. So I want to see what you're up to, Gerudo boy. And I sure wasn't disappointed. Never imagined finding you would be so more interesting. So, what are you waiting for? Come on, I'm gonna leave you behind. As she goes through the door, are you serious? You're leaving. You're going back to where you came. I don't think so. You have two choices. You could either stay there and sulk or follow me. But if you don't, something might happen to me and that might start a war. Our two people are not very friendly towards each other at the moment. Your choice. Come on. I have no day. Don't have all day. I want to explore. As Izuka groans and fine. As, she's just swinging him, like she's, trying to get him wrapped around her little finger. As we're going to end it there. The next part, we'll go more into the temple, where they're at. Where they're located at. So, hope you guys have a good night and day, judging my time zones. Alright, bye.